Would you ever apologise for something? If like kind of I turn around to you and said you have to apologise. If I turn around and said you have to apologise for what you said about Simon Cowell, would you apologise?
No, because I believe what I said.
Good.
If I said something like, so we're doing an interview now, so I'm, none of this is scripted or anything like that, so I'm only thinking as I'm going along. So if I said something now, and then later on thought, oh gosh, I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
If then that started a fuss, and then there was a desire for an apology, and I felt that I wanted to apologise for it, then certainly I've got no issue with an apology, but I have an issue with somebody demanding an apology, and then somebody doing it, and when they don't even mean it. You're not telling me that Richard Bacon means that apology. That he's had a complete about-turn opinion on it.
I think he means that I think he's sorry that he upset people, but I don't think he's sorry for what he said. Which is a thought.
I think he's saving his own surname.
Yes, very true.
Is what I think is going on. And he shouldn't have to say something he doesn't mean to do that. He's not done anything wrong in the first place. Just because the other side of this as well, there's an also interesting thing where I was in a sketch on Russell Has Good News, which was about transsexual airlines, I think it was. It might have been transvestite airlines, whatever it was. And so this airline exists, that they've done this, and then they'd written this sketch about I can't remember where it was maybe Chile or somewhere, and they'd written a sketch about what if there was a British version of that, right? Nothing particularly clever about it or anything like that, but it was just, two big blokes, northern blokes, dressed up in women's clothes. Very obviously men dressed as women, okay?
Yeah.
And the I can't remember the actual name of the society, but they got very offended by it, supposedly, and kicked up a fuss. And there's some stuff on YouTube with it where they're all getting very angry about it. And I was speaking to a friend of mine who is a male to female transgender, who was telling me about this, about how upset they'd all been, and she'd been saying that she'd been defending me to them and saying, no, he's not that sort of bloke. That's not what it is. That the joke was that they hadn't even done proper transsexual or proper transgender people in it, and they wouldn't have it. And I spoke to my friend about it and said, I get it when people use something as a platform for a worthy cause. So I get it. If they don't, they're not really offended in real life. I don't think anyway. They're just going, this will draw some attention to our cause, and their cause is pretty noble. Their cause is trying to make sure that everyone has equality and everyone is treated in the same way, and that's a noble cause. So I don't really mind people attributing things to suit their cause. So in a sense, I don't really mind the Down Syndrome Society drawing attention to themselves if that draws attention to their charity. But when it's so vehement and so self-righteous, I think what you end up doing is you end up actually damaging your charity. You end up actually damaging your image. I was very close to going on the internet and saying very offensive things about them, and just to redress the balance.
Right.
Just take the power away. And I didn't do that because I'm not actually that man. But I think what you end up doing is having people lose sympathy for your cause, and go, just relax about it. No one listens to Doug Stanhope and takes that at face value. I actually believe nobody does. I don't think there's even. It's not like the grey area you sometimes get with Lee Nelson or with Al Murray or whatever.
Yeah.
Where sometimes the people that actually agree with what those joke characters are saying champion them. Or don't understand it's a character, which is actually far more dangerous. Is maybe too strong a word, but
not worrying really.
Well, I mean, it's perhaps worrying, but also perhaps not surprising because if you look at the character of Al Murray, not Al himself, but the character of Al Murray, of the pub landlord, and his opinions, only an idiot would have that opinion. So an idiot perhaps wouldn't see that it's a character.
Fair enough.
Is I think what it boils down to.
I'll give you that.
But I think they do see its character, but I think they think, yeah, you tell him, Al, and it's not surprising that an idiot would do that. And only an idiot would have those racist beliefs and all the rest of it. But I actually think that people who watch and enjoy Doug Stanhope are watching and enjoying quite how brutal he's being, and deliberately brutal for comic effect. You've got to remember, he's a comedian, so he's not going on there to say these things to make a point. The majority of the time, he's going on there to say things to be funny. So even though he does have some very salient political points within his stuff, and salient human points within his stuff, the bottom line is he's actually trying to get a laugh, and he's trying to get a rise out of people for a laugh. So, you know, you'd have to be pretty sick to not see that it's a deliberate thing.
And to believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a very good point.
Yeah,
the same thing.
I think so too.
The same thing, really. Though, with kind of, is it kind of the opposite, really, with Frankie Boyle, or was it more the?
I think
the spotlight.
I think the furore around Frankie Boyle was quite a well orchestrated PR stunt for Jordan. I think it was. That's my.
Oh, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about everything else. No, that is definitely a PR stunt for Jordan. One of her words on the documentary about her kid was, "I've never used my kid as a publicity stunt." I'm like, you just have always.
Yeah, but you also sit there and go, well then, why do I know your child exists?
Yeah.
Why do I know the name of your child? Why do I know what your child looks like? Why do I? If you've not used your child, why do I know? Why do I even know you have a child? Do you know what I mean? You could say. Like, I could say to you, like, so who do I like? Who do I admire as a comic? Like, okay, I'll go, right, Lee Mack, what's his marital status? How many children has he got? You've got no idea.
No.
No idea.
No clue.
Because that's not what he's about. You know, so you can be famous, and she'll say, oh no, but they follow me around. It's like nonsense. No, only if you play the game. There is actually, there's a way of doing it without revealing your entire life. You know, you choose to reveal your entire life if that's what you do, and you can't then complain. And as far as Frankie's concerned, again, Frankie writes in a very naughty way, and Frankie writes in a comedically naughty way, and that's the persona that he's crafted for himself. I mean, I remember Frankie from way back, and you know, he's always had that little dark edge to him, and that's what's made him successful. So you can't, you know, watch someone and say, oh, I love this, I love this, I love this, I love this. No, too far.
Yeah.
You know, you either take it or leave it, but it's not really a surprise that Frankie says the things that he says.
Well, if you watch the rest of his act, then definitely not.
Well, I didn't see that series. I thought the stuff that caused the fuss really made me laugh. Really made me laugh. I thought that was absolutely genius. I completely got it. I got what he was saying. I understood it. I didn't think for a second that he was truly suggesting the things he was saying, but I understood what the humour was in it. I understood why it was funny. I heard that the series was a little bit, should we say, non-accessible to a lot of people.
It was difficult.
Well, yeah, but again, just switch it off. I mean, that's the bottom
No,
line.
I mean accessibility-wise. I mean, I've enjoyed Frankie Boyle stuff for a while, but
Yeah.
I watched it and I kind of thought, I know this should be funny, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And
but,
it was.
He's allowed not to entertain you.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's the bottom line with it, and it is what we've been saying. We can't. I think we have similar opinions on this, so we can't have our opinions and then complain because Frankie Boyle's show wasn't funny enough. At the end of the day, we just go, okay, well, he's doing what he does. You know, he's not making it to be rubbish. He's not making. You know, he doesn't want it to be rubbish, any more than anyone who creates something wants it to be rubbish. So, you know, things are made with the best intentions as far as being creative. And if it's not worked, it's not worked. But again, we can't demand that he does it differently. It's just go, well, that's what you do.